then I would on the back end sell them Lead Falcon, which is basically an AI CRM. Okay, a CRM, customer relations management software, and that you hook it up one time, and then they'll pay you a monthly retainer so that they don't have to uh, do all of their email automations, and they don't need to do like text messaging and calling, and they can have a AI person that answers kind of stuff, right? So this is what I would do, and then I would add on additional marketing services like ads or AEO or SEO on top of it. And this is what I would do. I would lead with the funnels on the website because it's a low-hanging fruit. Then I would sell an AI CRM, and I would use Lead Falcon because obviously, that's what I think is the best. And then in addition to that, I would do ads. So if we're starting a company that's going to do this for local companies, you got to apply the same logic to whatever you're doing. It could be the software, it could be services, it could be coaching, it could be whatever you're doing, but I'm just going to use this as an example today. Okay. I'm going to use this as an example. You guys are smart. Connect the dots, how this would apply to your business. But nonetheless, this is what I would do. Okay. So I would create a company that does this. I'm gonna ask SuperCool for a prompt. Okay. I want to create a company that helps local businesses um, make websites, um, funnels, runs their ads, SEO, AEO, and also has an AI CRM receptionist that does their emails, phones, and texts via AI. I want to call it, I was thinking about this before that I'm going to call it Lead Genie. The avatar is a that local business that is established but is bad at online stuff, so they're losing money. Uh, please give me a prompt for Famous.ai to build this landing page for this company. The branding should be edgy and almost funny to stand out. Make it bold and intense. This is Terry taught me this, by the way. So you want to be kind of edgy. This is called purple cow in marketing, right? If you're looking at a bunch of cows in a field, most of them are brown or black or spotted, and one of them is purple, you're going to notice the purple one, right? So it's okay to be kind of a little bit out there. Um, and the CTA at the bottom of the page should be to schedule a demo call and make an offer that they can't refuse. Okay. But remember, I need this in Word format, not code. Famous AI will build the actual website. Okay. So I'm gonna ask basically SuperCool for a prompt that I can use for Famous. One thing I don't know if you guys have seen this, but uh, I don't know if any of you guys have joined J-Curve, but I created a kind of a I'll stop sharing my screen here and go to so this is J-Curve, kind of our repository for all of our trainings that we've ever done. And we do sales and funnels, marketing, mindset, personal branding, all sorts of really cool stuff. But down here at the bottom, we also have our playbook. Okay. And in our playbook, I have some prompts for coming up with ascension models, for example, like business foundations, your ascension model here. I just had already come up with my ascension model, but if you wanted to come up with your own ascension model, you could use this. And then also for the funnel prompt, I could use our funnel prompts as well. So this is like a direct to purchase funnel. These are appointment funnels. So for like a local service appointment funnel, you can do this. So anyways, I'm kind of fluent in funnels, so I'm just kind of speeding ahead. But if you guys had joined J-Curve, um, there's this playbook here that you can kind of use all of those prompts. Okay. Just reminding you. Du-du-du-du-du. Okay, let's go back. So it created it's kind of coming up with the prompt for me. It's thinking, it's thinking, it's thinking. So I'll create a comprehensive landing page prompt for Famous. It's doing its little thing. But just remember the idea here is, if I have some time, I might actually do a book funnel. So what's gonna end up look like is it's gonna have a little CTA here, okay, um, and then it's gonna have the logo here, and then at the bottom, this is the most important thing. It'll have a calendar where people can schedule, okay, here, and then there'll be a little reminder sequence here. And then you'll actually have to pitch the deal here. And I think Darsh, we talked about it. I think Darsh might actually talk to you a little bit about sales and like how to sell these kind of high ticket things, which is pretty cool. Um, okay, cool. So it completed the task. Let's see what it did here. Okay. Um, okay, I'm just gonna build this page like it's designed to print money because it is. That's fine. I can already tell. So I'm gonna go up to Famous and I'm just gonna copy and paste this prompt. Okay. And it's going to start building. And remember, I'm going to go to the website. So it's going to start building the website. Okay. So I had this concept. I gave it general overview of like what I wanted to sell, which in this case is going to be websites and AI automation tools and some marketing for local businesses. Local businesses, I don't know if you know this, but there's 14,000 new LLCs that are applied for every year. Okay. It's going to ask me for if I want to do Supabase to kind of create it. And also we have our new Famous.ai database, but I'm just going to skip that for now. Um, we can do the technical integrations later. But I don't know if you guys remember, but basically, if you're building something that has kind of there's going to be the front end. Okay. And then the back end, the way that you do anything kind of fancy is you need a database. Okay. Database. And then the database will keep track of everything, and then it will run it through um, AI APIs. And then that's how you can kind of get something that functions. This is how like the software is built. And so we now have native API integrations, and then we also have our own database. So this just came out in the last couple of weeks. So instead of having to use your own API keys, and instead of having to use your like Supabase, you can start to now use everything fully integrated inside of Famous, which is very cool. We're very excited about that. Okay. So this is happening. And also, if you guys, have never seen Lead Falcon, basically this is what Lead Falcon is. So I'm essentially going to pitch, I'm not going to white label it, but I'm going to use Lead Falcon as my main service. Okay. So how many businesses, for example, have a bunch of emails? Like just to use like a local plumber, like, local random plumber guy. Okay. Let's look at like, Orlando plumbers. Okay. And let's look at Matt. Uh, yeah. Okay, let's look at plumbers in Orlando. Nope. Uh, plumbers in Orlando. Okay. Um, so these ones are probably going to be pretty good. Oh, Orlando, Florida. Sorry. Okay. So here's a bunch of plumbers in Orlando. Let's say I was gonna go Pete's Plumbers 4.7, 4.8. That's pretty good. These are why, by the way, they're showing up is because they're high. They have like good ratings. The ones that are not showing up are let's look at, okay, this isn't bad. So I probably wouldn't try that. Let's look at this one. Okay, so this is pretty ugly. So they could probably use a an upgrade. This is not really like optimized very well, obviously. It looks kind of janky, it looks kind of old. So we could reach out to them and be like, hey, you have people calling you, you have people texting you, but are you actually responding? And this company looks like they have money, but they definitely need like a upgrade. So we could upgrade their website, and we could also set a CRM on the back end that automatically does all of their phone calls and their emails automatically. Okay. So let's just say, but there's 10,000 companies like this, right? And this isn't even like that bad. So the concept here is that we'd reach out to all of these people. There's like unlimited leads, and we would create websites for them and then also do their backend using lead falcon. This is just an idea that I made up. Okay. But this is honestly, if I was like, if I lost everything and I had to start over, I would use SuperCool to create prompts. I would do Famous to create everything. And then I would use Lead Falcon as like my CRM in the back end that I'm selling to people. And I would just email and call and DM like 500 local businesses a day, and I'd probably be up to like 50 or $100,000 a month in sales within a couple months. This is like literally what I do. And I know a lot of you guys are like, well, I'm building my custom software. That's fine. No big deal. That's fine. But nonetheless, this is what I would do. So now I'm gonna switch here, okay? And I'm gonna say, um, let's okay. Okay, thanks. Now I would like to create a lead magnet ebook that explains how local businesses should be selling or should be using AI in their businesses. Write the entire ebook, make it funny and bold, first person from my perspective. The CTA should be to book a call and let me do it for them, but it should also be informational for them. Write the entire 100-page ebook. Okay. So now that I'm here, I think that the About Us section is basically dead, just so you guys know. The like an About Us page is to me, About Us section is pretty much over. Because now, instead of having an About Us section to prove your authority, you should really have a book. Okay. Oh wow, this is very good. Okay, I'm gonna add a sticky header, logo left plus CTA button right. Also add a footer with terms and conditions and a privacy policy. Um, Also add a VSL section below the header, below the hero section. Okay. I like the your business is invisible. I love that. That's a really bold. That's very bold. And you can see the colors are bold. So even just adding that like tiny little suggestion to the prompt of super cool, you see how super cool came up with like an entire brand. It's honestly shocking how like this, what I just did here, which took about 10 minutes, 6 months ago or a year ago, if you were like to come up with the brand, come up with all the images, come up with the wireframe, do the copywriting, do all the web development, do all the AEO on the back end, because this is like doing AEO optimization on the back end. All of this kind of stuff on the back end would have taken, even if you were an expert, would take you like a really, really long time, obviously, like probably months, even if you're an expert. Okay, let's go back. Let's see what it's doing. So it's writing. Okay, all the different parts and the different. So what did it do? I don't know if you guys have used this for books, but it's totally insane. And I've worked with some of the biggest authors in the world, like Ryan Holiday, Jocko Willink, Amy Cuddy, um, Kim Scott, Cal Newport, Reid Hoffman, Mark Manson, like literally number one New York Times bestsellers, Pulitzer Prize winners. Like my background is actually in the publishing industry, and what Supercool does with books is just totally insane. So I just gave it this general prompt. And then what did it do first? Think about it. What is the first thing that you would need to do if you were writing it is you need to like outline it. You say, okay, what are the parts? Then what are the chapters, right? Then what are the stories inside of each chapter? Then what are the actual homework assignments in each? Like there's so much complexity to even planning it. And then it's not going to just plan it, it's now going to start writing it. Do you see how it's like literally writing it? So it's kind of shocking. So this is going to happen in the background. Um, One thing that I'll do is I'm going to go over to BookDaddy, which I own this company as well, which is using Deal.ai. I don't know if you guys know this. Let me see what it named the book. Um, Hang on. Let me see what it named it. The AI Uprising. While you're, yeah, okay. The AI Uprising. I'm going to do a book cover. Jonathon Kendall. Um, how to use I don't know if you guys have used BookDaddy, but BookDaddy is like really good for writing and publishing and that kind of thing. Um, we'll give you an example of how to use it at the end of the lesson. But I've kind of created a whole thing for book covers. We've had over 60 number one bestsellers with BookDaddy clients. Uprising Jonathan Kendall, how to use AI for local businesses. Um, Bold, intense, generate results. Okay. So I'm going to create a book cover for it just while we're doing this. And you'll see basically what we're going to do is we're going to create an About Us page. Uh, Instead of an About Us page, we're going to create a book page. Let me check the chat. How are we feeling, guys? Uh, okay. What would you charge for the website and funnel revamp? It depends on if you're going to have like back end automation. So Eric, that's a good question. Eric asked, what would you charge for this? If it had multiple pages, like if it had like 3 or 4 pages, then a couple $1,000s at least. Okay, so this is pretty crazy. This is obviously really, really bold. You might want to kind of um, pull this back a little bit, but I think it's good. It shows kind of like the intensity of it, and then you can schedule a demo call. Okay, this is obviously very purple cow. You guys could kind of change however you wanted, but I'm gonna say let's add a book funnel to the top. Um, Add a header button that says download the book and build a book funnel. Here's the info on the book. Don't change anything on the main website. So I'm going to go here, and while it's writing it, I already know kind of like everything about the book because it gave it to me. So I'm just going to copy and paste everything that's in the book into Famous and um, create all the copy and the wireframe match the branding of the home page. Okay. So now instead of an about us page, instead of an about us section, I'm creating a book funnel. So why am I building a book funnel? Well, firstly, it's good for leads, but it's also what it does is it increases conversion. Okay, so if you guys have a book, there's like three major things that a book will do for you. Okay, bestseller. Why would you create a bestseller? Okay, so firstly, it can be a lead magnet. So people will buy the book, and then the likelihood of them wanting to work with you is very, very high because you're the expert. Okay. It also increases the conversion rate of people that are interested because if they're thinking about working with you versus someone else, and you're the one that's a bestseller, then obviously they'll work with the person that's the author because most people are not the author and they don't have it just shows that you're the expert. Okay. And then what it also does is it allows you to arbitrage social media. Okay. So you have what do I mean by that? I mean by like if you want to be a guest on a podcast, or you want to be a guest on a YouTube page, or you want to go live with someone on Twitch, or you want to go live with someone on uh, one of their channels, then if you reach out to them and you say, hey, I just came up with a book and I'm a number one bestseller that teaches people how to do AI, blah, 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 then all of a sudden anyone in that space will want to bring you on because they have a problem with creating content at scale. And so if you can come on and they can interview you, then that's great. So you might get hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views where you can give a call to action to your website essentially for free. So you don't even have to necessarily pay for paid advertising. Does that make sense? So having a best-selling book is like not really even an option anymore because because now with SuperCool you can create a book funnel and you can create the book so quickly that there's no point in not doing it. Does that make sense? Does everyone understand the concept here? Uh, could a VSL do the same with the book? No, I mean you have to have a VSL because that's your commercial, right? So um, uh, Janine, oh, my name is Terry on the because I'm logged in as Terry, but my name is Jonathan. It's fine. Okay, so let's see. Ooh, that's kind of cool. AI Uprising. Which one do we like the best? I kind of like this one. I mean, we could do this a million times, but you guys can see the idea. Um, so I'm gonna click download. So as you can see, I'm using Deal here, right? This is a white label of Deal. Um, and I created this for Book Daddy, and I'm using SuperCool to create the prompts and then also write the book, and then I'm using Famous for the uh, I'm using Famous to create the funnel. Does this make sense? So I'm kind of showing you guys, but then the product that I'm selling, and once people are on the call, the product that I'm going to sell is going to be Lead Falcon. Does that make sense? Is everyone following? Yeah, okay. Does that put a one in the chat if this does not make sense to you? I'm kind of showing you we own all of these, okay? So we own Famous, we own Supercool, we own Deal, we own Lead Falcon, okay? We own all of these things. And the concept here is how are we using all of these together? So this is a CRM. We're using this for a lot of like marketing assets. SuperCool is kind of like the better version of ChatGPT and can do a bunch of stuff for us and write books. And then Famous.ai is where we're going to um, actually create everything. So I gotta, I'm going fast here, obviously, but it's okay. You guys can join J Curve and and you can see all of the old you can see the replays and all that kind of stuff. So it's writing the book still, it's writing the book still. So this is all happening behind the scenes, essentially, right? So what are we doing? Okay. So what's our business is sell websites, AI services, lead Falcon to local businesses. Okay. Two, brand equals edgy, intense. We did that. Three, website equals demo CTA plus book funnel for authority. Four, write the book. Five, book cover design. Six. Um, so then once we have that, then we're gonna create some newsletters and back end drips. And then seven, we're gonna create the VSL, and then eight, we're gonna create some ads. Okay, does this make sense? So so this is where we're at, and so this is kind of crazy, obviously, but we're doing all of this in 45 minutes. So to give you guys an idea of like how fast things are nowadays, if you use the right tools, and then I'm going to hand off to Terry, and then I think he's going to help with the VSL and the ads and all of that, because that's kind of its own universe, and we'll show you how to use the tools to make a VSL and ads and all of that. And then what you're going to need to do is you're going to actually need to do sales. Okay. And Darsh will kind of walk through how to do sales to actually get, because guys, you do something like this, there's if just this business model, but like insert whatever business model you want. Alex Ramosi talks about this. It's like he says, it's like volume, right? He has this thing where it's like download the book. Okay. Okay, so I tried to do okay. Create okay. Two things to change on the book page. One, use this image as the book cover that I'm uploading here. So I'm going to upload the screenshot here of this book. And secondly, create an entire pitch page for the ebook. Include benefits section, features, table of contents, FAQ, meet the author, etc., not just a hero section. Okay, so I'm just it gave me kind of a quick little CTA download the book, but I'm telling it to create more of a book funnel. Does that make sense? So we're gonna have the home page for the services, and then we have the book funnel. So this is happening behind the scenes. It's still writing the book. Still writing the book. I feel like, I was just at a wedding with or not a wedding, but my mom just turned 70. And so I was at a surprise birthday party in Portland, Oregon. And I met my nieces. And I think if I feel like some of you guys are saying the word sick. I feel like we're in the same generation. Like that's sick. Like it's so funny. Gen Z would never say that. But that's something from my generation. Ken, what are the ethical implications of acting like an expert that wrote a book when it really AI? I don't think it is appropriate. Oh, I mean, it's not appropriate if you can't fulfill what you're saying that you're going to do. So, Ken, if you're selling services, for example, so if I say, hey, I'm going to implement AI services for the local roofing company or whatever, and they pay me $2,000 to implement AI like Lead Falcon, right? If and then you can't do it, and they said, oh, well, I paid you and I thought you were an expert, then yeah, that's being unethical because you literally can't do the thing that you're asking them to pay you to do. But if if you can do the thing, like if you say, hey, let's say you write a book on like how to make funnels, right? That sell. And then you're an expert in creating funnels that sell, and you sell a funnel to a local store, then if you can't make the funnel for them, then yeah, you're that's unethical because you're acting like you can do something that you can't do. Does that make sense, Ken? But if you can do it, which you can now, because you know how you create AIs for companies, you hook them up to Lead Falcon. Do you know how you make a funnel for people? You put a prompt into Famous. Like what you guys have to realize is you are on the cutting edge. You are so extreme on the cutting edge. Like most people barely use ChatGPT to like write an email or let alone, all of these tools implementing like it was funny, my mom was visiting me in Madrid and she was saying, "Oh, I would like to have like a company that, does sewing for people because she's like retiring. She wants to like still stay busy." So I made her a custom sewing website for her and I did it in like 5 minutes. And she was like, she thought that I, was like a wizard or something. So she thought like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, how is this even possible? Right? And so and she's a professional. She's a pro. She does accounting. She's really high level. So the fact that she's, totally shocked by this is how normal businesses are. You know what I mean? So anyways, I know that was kind of a long explanation, Ken, but like it really has to do with whether or not you can do the thing that you're claiming that you can do, right? If I make a book on how to create the best healthy brownies or something, right? And then I get hired to be a private chef for someone's wedding, and then I can't actually bake the brownies, then yeah, I was scamming them. But if I can bake the brownies, then why not write the book? Because I am an expert. Does that does that make sense?
Yeah, and guys, by the way, can you hear me, Jonathan?
Yep.
I think I just connected. I was trying to add some stuff earlier. I don't think my mic was on.
Mm.
But guys, this is literally the cheat code business that I've been talking about on every call. And to educate yourself, look how fast Jonathan is doing this. Look how fast I'm going to do what I'm going to do. You can, if you just focus for a day, you could get to a level where you can go out there and start closing clients and genuinely fulfilling like at a badass level, like for sure. So really pay attention to this because this is not hard. And like Jonathan said, the majority of people have no friggin' idea, right? Their marketing sucks, their funnel sucks. They don't know that things like this are out there, like Jonathan's mother. Like that is the majority of people. So what we're talking about here, if you're seeing, the Matrix, is an incredible business, and it's the right time, right place. It's right now where you can get out there and start making an impact. In a year's time, not so much. Every day that goes past, it dissipates. But like, pay attention to this, rewatch it. You could literally, if you were really paying attention, you could go out tonight and close a client and fulfill tomorrow. Like 100%. Anyway, just thought I'd add that.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so let's look at okay, AI Uprising chapter. Okay, so
I'll add the one thing to that is one thing you might need a bit more time on is obviously connecting the back end, which we'll get into later. But yeah.
okay, so it's done, but I said reformat the finished book as a doc for Kindle. That's it. So it's gonna like reformat it. So it already wrote the book. and it looks very, very good, and the writing looks really good. It looks really solid. So now we're uh, again, we have our main funnel. That's it. But now at this point, I'm kind of like up, like if you guys notice what I did here, as I said, don't change the wireframe copy or functionality, but add custom images in appropriate places instead of random icons so it pops a bit more. Okay. So just think about this, guys. We didn't have a the business. All I had was want to sell AI stuff to local businesses. Does that make sense? That's it. So business, sell websites. Then I said, okay, brand. I didn't the copywriting. I just said edgy intense. That's it. And it came up with great brand. It's edgy and intense. Then I wanted to create a website with 2 pages, one to actually demo, and then one as a book funnel. Then, well, if I have a book funnel, I need to write the book. And then if I want to have a cover design, I need to like actually have a book cover, which we use Deal for. And now once this is done, I'm gonna create some newsletters, okay, for people, and I'll show you kind of how to do that real quick. This is like this, if you would have done this 6 months ago, this would have taken, I mean, if you include the book and the quality of the writing, and then formatting and like, well, I mean, probably 6 months, you know. It's just kind of shocking what's available. And you guys are really on the cutting edge, but I'm letting you know that you're only going to be on the cutting edge for maybe like 6 months to a year. Okay. So just think about this. What the decisions that you make, you guys are like, congratulations. And I'm not saying this for like, who cares? I'm just saying, congratulations. You by grace of the universe or God or whatever you believe in. And also, you're taking action. You bought a ticket. Some of you guys joined J Curve. Some of you bought, Yellow Belt, for whatever reason, you guys are here. So that's good. So you filtered yourself out. But now the next filter is literally taking action. So whether that's building your own software or doing services for other people, right? It doesn't really matter. But what matters is that you get in the arena quickly, because the gap where your ability to do these things for other people, or your avatar could be coaches and consultants, it could be course creators, it could be moms, it could be dads, it could be career people, it could be people that are out of work that want to get a job, there could be people, it doesn't matter who your avatar is or what the thing is that you're helping them do, right? The opportunity zone, if you will, for being on the cutting edge of what's happening right now, and offering either software that you build yourself or white label software like Lead Falcon, or white label software like Famous, or using those softwares to charge for services, charge $2,000 to build someone's landing page or more, or a monthly retainer, charge someone $1,500 a month to do their CRM for them, right? Which is normal for a business. This opportunity is like the next 6 months or a year, because what's going to happen is that, no offense, but like companies like us and other companies are going to make it even easier, such that that business owner feels like they can maybe do it themselves. Does that make sense? So this service opportunity, is this kind of gold rush opportunity, is probably going to be like, my guess is maybe a year, because you can make these crazy websites that normally, a year ago, people would charge $10,000 for, and it would take them 2 months, and now you can do it in 30 minutes. This the time that it takes for you to be the expert, that you can do it and they can't, might only be a year or two. Because in 2 years from now, maybe the plumber themselves or some, whiz kid that they hire from a local high school is like, oh yeah, we learned that in high school. We learned how to use SuperCool in high school. My teacher, in my business class, he taught us how to use Famous.ai. And so now you're competing with, high schoolers and college kids and local business owners that know how to use it themselves. Does that make sense? Does everyone kind of understand this? So it's important that like you understand not just doing this, but you understand the urgency, okay? The urgency to which, so you see how all I did was I said, instead of using icons, you should use actual images. And so it kind of just like spiced it up a little bit, I think. Does that make sense? So now we have this lead genie company. Um, add images to the main um, demo call page two, just like you did for the book. Okay. Okay, cool. So let's see what it did here. Oh, look at it created an EPUB version. Guys, it's even smarter than I thought. Because I said .doc, but Kindle is actually EPUB. This is honestly so cool. This is so cool. EPUB is a specific format, guys, just so you guys know, that like literally the developers must have just done this like in the last couple days. Honestly, it's shocking. Honestly, shocking. Crazy. Crazy it did this. Crazy, guys. Crazy. So when I wow, wow, wow. So let me share my whole screen now, actually. This is honestly shocking, guys. I'm so excited. Okay. So it had me open it up in books. You see the AI books? Because an EPUB version is like a very uh specific setting. So it literally created an ebook. It didn't create a doc because this is how you need to upload it to, like, for example, Apple Books or Kindle. It has it's called an EPUB version. It's if it's over your head, it's okay. But it literally created an EPUB version. This is honestly so cool. So, anyways, now we have it, and we have the um, and we have that. So let me go back, and I'll make the emails. Okay. Um, So it is remembering what I talked about. Okay, cool. Let's make some email sequences. What if someone schedules a demo to get my AI services? Let's send a reminder sequence for them to show up to the call with the right links, and then also an opt-in but didn't purchase or didn't schedule sequence. Um, make them each 5 emails long. Okay. So this, if we go to, I'll share my stop share, and then I'm going to go to the other one. Okay. If you go back to, this is in, I'm back into J-curve, which is like where all of our recordings go, like all of our, like everything that's like more advanced stuff you guys can see. All of this stuff. But anyways, if you go to the playbook, there's a whole section on emails. Okay, so you have like your funnels, you have your business stuff, newsletters, you have sales presentations, sales scripts, ads and marketing, and then email marketing. Okay, so this is like nurturing prospects into campaigns. So there's a bunch of prompts basically for if someone is actually interested but they didn't actually buy. There's a bunch of prompts here for building email sequences. But again, I'm just um, I'm just creating my own real quick because I know how to do it. Um, that makes any sense to anyone? So I'm going to go back to this. And what it's doing is it's creating a couple email sequences. So usually when someone goes through your funnel, you want to create an opt-in but did not buy or schedule sequence. And then you also want to create a reminder sequence. And then if you have a direct to purchase funnel, you also want to do some people call this, by the way, like an abandoned cart. And cart. But in our case, there's no abandoned cart because it's not a direct to purchase sequence. It's an appointment funnel sequence. And then sometimes you also have a welcome sequence. But with these higher ticket things, oftentimes a welcome sequence is just one email. Okay. So these are different emails that you might need. Okay. And then what you do afterwards is you add them to Lead Falcon. So this is kind of like our standard approach. Okay. So um, our standard approach is these are the main sequences that you need, but then afterwards you just add them to Lead Falcon. So this is what you should do for yourself. This is what we do, but then also this is what you should do for other people. Does that make sense? Okay. So it created a bunch of email sequences. Sequence one, demo reminder sequence, timing, the subject line, your lead genie demo is confirmed. Don't lose the email. So it wrote all the emails for you, basically, you see, that you're going to need. So it wrote every email sequence that you're going to need for this company. So remember what we were building. We're building the business, the brand, the website, the book cover design, and then the newsletters and the email drip sequences that we need. Okay. So does that make any sense? Is everyone with me? So we have our funnel, we have our brand. It's very edgy, super intense. We have our book. We wrote the book. We have an EPUB version Kindle of the book that we could literally upload to Kindle today. Um, and we have the newsletters for when they schedule a call, and we also have our product that we're going to sell. Okay. So what are we missing here? What's missing? What's the next step? Okay. What's the next step? So I'm going to publish this. Okay. And then I'm going to go to project settings. And then I'm going to uh, share this. And I'm going to share it with Terry. Okay. Terry, did you get it?
Yep, let me just see if I can open it up and it works. Beautiful. I've got it, but how do I actually put it into Famous? Clone this.
Just click the button
Oh, we got it.
and
Okay,
then
beautiful.
click clone at the top.
Yep, yep, I got it. I got it.
Do you guys see how crazy, by the way, I just wanted to show this real quick, is on my, this is my um like Apple Books. It already is in my Apple Books, the AI Uprising. So I didn't upload the book cover, but like it's literally in like it's next to like Adventures of Huckleberry Finn and then like AI Uprising, the book that I created is already literally in my Apple Books. Just to see. And it can't go into Apple Books if it doesn't have the right formatting. Does that make sense? Because there's a certain like type of code. It's not just like a document. So we did a lot. And I think Terry now will take over. Hopefully that was helpful for you guys. And we'll do some ads and VSLs and some more creative stuff with what we got going on.
Yeah, let's actually, build the entire thing, right? So hard one to follow, Jonathan. That was pretty friggin' epic. Let's give Jonathan some love for that. That was pretty damn awesome. What a foundation to lay down. So my section, guys, probably about 45 minutes to an hour.